Hi guys, welcome back. It's middle of July. I've got a new package in the mail to open for you today. Now, I've been kind of stockpiling, not on purpose, but I do have quite the bin of unopened decks right now. But this just came in the mail, and I'm going to go ahead and open this one today. It's come from Amazon, and I don't even want to delay. Let's just get right into it. So the reason why I know what this deck is, and the reason why I want to open it, is because this is a deck that was sitting. Have you ever ordered anything on Amazon and then it just sits in the unshipped but ordered basket because it just has not been available? Sometimes it's because you pre-order something, and I definitely will do that with decks that I know that I am going to be wanting. And then sometimes it's just that things aren't available, and that was the case for this. And I don't know, maybe it was a pre-order, but this is called the Ostara Tarot. So it just came out, it's 2017, and I'm really excited to open it with you guys. So who Ostara is, she's a Germanic goddess, and the name Ostara is actually the same root as the word Easter. So even though her mythology is much older than Christianity, so she would have been considered, a pagan goddess by early Christians. But this word Ostara or Easter also relates to the East, and in Hermetic magic, the East, of course, is what corresponds to the sunrise and to the dawn, and Ostara is a goddess of the dawn. Interestingly, Easter is a celebration of the resurrection of Christ, of course, and in ancient Egyptian religion, Christ is very much associated the same kind of ideas with the resurrection of Osiris. The Egyptians personified this idea of the resurrection through the rising of the sun every morning. So all of these things kind of fit together, this idea of Easter with resurrection, the direction of east with the daily resurrection of the sun coming back from night, coming back from the underworld, rising back up in the sky, and then Ostara, the Germanic goddess, whose name conveys these ideas as well. So already I can see that this is a really kind of a cool box. Let's see if we can get in here. It says Red Feather on the side. I think that's the publishing company. What does Red Feather make you guys think of? The Fool by any chance? That's one of the things that we look at in my tarot class that I teach, is which cards have that little red feather kind of poking up. And you see it in the Rider-Waite version, on the Fool, on the little child riding the horse on the Sun card, on some of the knights. Even the Death card has a red feather. His is kind of flopped over, and there's a little red ribbon right here to open this box. I can't open it. Is it sealed? No? Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm all about the presentation. Oh, I see what it is. It's magnetic, actually. Well, that's very cool. Every little touch counts, right? So right in the front here, we see these 4 pictures and names of people. Molly, Eden, Krista, and Julia, 4 illustrators living in Vancouver, Canada. They met at art school, and they discovered that they had a shared love for the occult and decided to tackle the ambitious task of illustrating a tarot deck. So very cool. It looks like there's 4 artists that all contributed. On the top here, we see a book, and on the back here it says, "The vernal equinox, Ostara, wakes the city after winter." So here we're having another expression of this idea of resurrection, which is the seasonal one, moving from winter into spring. The vernal equinox is the spring equinox. So the first day of spring, it usually falls right around March 20th, and it's also the first day of the zodiacal year, so the first day of Aries. It varies a little bit from year to year, but it's usually the 20th or the 21st. So let's go ahead and take a look at these cards. Here's what we see in the box. And the cards are separated. Oh, they have beautiful gold foil edges. They're separated into two different piles. So we start so often with the Fool, and I can see the Fool on top here. Let's go ahead and start with these other cards. Here's the Four of Pentacles. You see this this hare with in a ship with an eye patch, a very interesting depiction, sailing here with all of his pentacles. Huh. Here we have the Five. Now, isn't this interesting that this Four of Pentacles has pretty much zero correspondence to a traditional Rider-Waite type of image, yet the Five of Pentacles, we see the window. So right away we see some kind of a similar depiction here. Here's the Six of Pentacles. And here's the 10. And the reason I actually wanted to show both of these is because they both have this interesting underwater kind of theme here with the octopus. And I was wondering if that meant that the pentacles had overall some kind of underwater theme, but no, because when we look at the 7, here we see these little raccoons here kind of foraging their pentacles away. And here on the 8, we see the owl, and the owl with a little tool there. So, well, he has all of his little tools. Doesn't that kind of relay some of the idea of the 8 of Pentacles, workmanship, and putting in some of the elbow grease that is needed? Here is the Page of Pentacles, or Page of Coins, and you actually see this, it looks like a Chinese coin back here. Nowhere on these cards does it say coins or pentacles, and actually I'm gonna look in the book to see what they call that suit, since that's one that really varies. Okay, they're calling it coins. So in some decks it's pentacles, in some decks it's discs. In this particular one they're calling it coins. Oh wow, look at the king. So one thing I was curious to see is if maybe these 4 illustrators each do their own suit, or how exactly that works. Next, we're going to look at the cups, and here is the Ace of Cups. This is kind of a fun, interesting one. So we see 2 figures in this card, but we only do see 1 cup. Here is the 6 and the 7. And you can see it's a very unique take. It's definitely a unique interpretation. I always like when I see the cards that have the edges, that the image goes right up to the edge. It really does allow for things to make one complete scene and not feel like you're just looking at these individual moments in time, but being able to see how everything flows together. Let's see what else we've got in here. Here's a beautiful one, the Two of Swords. One thing I will say is these cards, they're extremely glossy, and I don't know, I'm sure you can notice that they're kind of sticking together. I mean, I'm actually having to peel them apart. So I don't know if that would kind of loosen up in time and become easier, or if they're gonna shuffle easy. You know, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to try shuffling just this 1/2 of the cards and see how that works. Because, you know, that's an issue. If your cards won't shuffle, then no matter how beautiful they are, they're just not going to be practical. Okay, they seem to be shuffling easily. Actually, they're shuffling quite nicely. And I do love those silver borders. But you know what? Also, that is kind of coming off on my hands a little bit. Can you see that? So I think that would probably be the case anytime that you have these gilded edges, but it's also something to consider. And here we have what looks like the Queen of Coins right on the front there. So these cards have a little bit of a, I would say almost like a little bit of a comic booky kind of illustration. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other half of these. So this first card on the second pack is the Fool, and it does look like this drawing was done by a different illustrator than the others. Just has a little bit of a different look about her. Here's the Magician, and I wouldn't say that they have any specific kind of you know, they don't look necessarily Germanic, even though Ostara is a German goddess. Some of them, you know, with the Chinese coin, and then this one also has, with these lotuses and these lilies, kind of an Asian feel to it. Here's Ostara herself from the front of the box, and the High Priestess. She has her pomegranate there. That's the symbol of the High Priestess. Here we see the Emperor with his ram's horns and interesting sigils kind of all over his body. Oh, I really like the Hierophant. That's a unique Hierophant. These cards are pretty. I like them. I think that some of them, they are, here's the Lovers. You know, they have a little bit of that kind of comic or cartoony kind of feel, you know what I mean? And that's just not my favorite style. But I do think that the pictures are beautiful. I love this. This is Justice, and it has the Egyptian feel to it, which, you know, here we see the weighing of the heart, and this would indicate a depiction of Ma'at. It's the feather of Ma'at that we see the heart weighed against in the weighing of the heart ceremony from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And so again, like I said, it doesn't seem like there's any one specific culture that these are drawing from. Oh, here's a really cool one. Yeah, some of these, you know, I'm torn. It's like half of them I love. Look at this Wheel of Fortune. That's really cool with this little thread here and the scissors, and just, it's almost got kind of Picasso kind of feeling to it, doesn't it? But then there's other ones, like here's the Strength, and it really does have much more of a comic book kind of feel to it. So I'm really split down the middle whether or not I am in love with these. There's some that I find really interesting. Oh, this is good. Look at the Devil. With these, can you see there's two people that are trapped down in here? What a cool depiction there, you know? I mean, it's so not, here they're not chained to the box. Here they're actually kept within this little vessel that the Devil has there. And the Tower is a really nice one too. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the wands. Here's the Three of Wands, it looks like. And we see, I'm going to actually look and see what they're calling wands in this deck. Because sometimes wands, yeah, they call them wands. Sometimes they're rods, sometimes they're clubs. Here is the Four of Wands, and it's hard for me to really see the wands aspect here. At first I thought, wait, are they these little carrots? But I think that they're actually 1, 2, 3, 4, these kind of spindly branches. So we see there's a lot of wildlife in this deck. Here's the Five of Wands, a gorgeous card. Really pretty, and the subtle, you know, the color of these is really cool. I'd like to show you the back. So this is the back of the cards with this double bird skull. I'm not sure what kind of a bird skull this is. Anybody know? You guys can leave it in the comments below, with the moons here. So here's something for you guys to consider when you have a new tarot deck. Yes, it might be true that the cards are not really obvious in terms of what card they are based on what you already know. If you look at this card and you see that it's the Six of Wands, it might not be instantly obvious. You see fish and you might associate it with cups because you think cups correspond to water. But if you look at it closely, you see those 6 branches, those 6 wands are there. So if you're wondering, well, how do I know? How do I remember which card is which? Well, that's the whole aspect of learning your deck, is sitting with each card and looking at it until you remember which one it is. And that is so much more important, in my opinion, than memorizing what the book says the card means. Instead of worrying about memorizing the meanings, just sit with the cards and get used to going through them and recognizing which one is which. So recognizing that this is the 7 of Wands, 6 of Wands rather. Recognizing that this is the 7. Look, it's a little game of chutes and ladders. Did you guys play that when you were a kid? You see the ladders going up these different levels. And the number 7 is an important number with the idea, the concept of leveling up, getting to the next level. Every 7 years in your life, there's sort of a leveling up or a completion and a restart. It's not going to be useful even for you to know what every card means if you don't even recognize which card is which. So just sit with the cards individually, especially in the case of a deck such as this, where the artists have really departed from any traditional imagery. And that way you can get to know those things. Here we see the 8 of Wands with this falcon here. And I do believe this is a beautiful deck, but it's just one that I'm going to have to sit with more, that I'm actually going to have to try doing a reading with to see how much I can connect with it. Because I really do feel that I'm kind of split right down the middle. I think some of the imagery is beautiful, but some of it is a little hard for me right off the bat to connect with why they depicted a certain card the way that they did. And let's do a little bibliomancy. So we're going to open up to a single card and read what it is. Oh, Ace of Coins. Now at the top, this is actually a really beautiful book. Every single card is in here with the picture in full color. And it's laid out really nicely. It says it says 1 coins here, and then it has some keywords: prosperity, positive change, hard work, and focus. And then it gives a description of the card. It says a sumptuous mouse in her garden grasps a golden coin. And there we see her, of course. Look forward to an abundant influx of positivity when this card appears. A bounty of wealth, inspiration, or prosperity is in the near future. This ace speaks of an upcoming change for the better, which is likely related to your existing goals. That's a nice bibliomancy, isn't it? The incoming windfall will be the result of your hard work and commitment. It may be time to invest more energy into your current area of focus, as the following changes will bring new breath and prosperity into your life. Reflect on the garden in this card. This is a definite cultivation, but the lushness has come organically. And it also gives a description of the reversal and what that means. The Ace of Coins reversed serves as a warning about lofty goals. Be wary of plans falling through and don't count on successes you have not confirmed yet. The machinations of nature may be out of your hands. So this is a really nicely laid out guidebook. A guidebook for a deck such as this is very helpful to understand why they chose the imagery that they did, why they illustrated in this way. And there's a sentence I like here that says, reflect on the garden in this card. So the illustrators are actually giving you some direction. They're saying there is a part of this that we want you to actually look at deeper, and that might be where you find your mind opens up to more information. That might be where you actually can find an association to how this speaks to you specifically. I'll share one last card with you here, which is the 9 of Coins. We see this gal reclining here with her big cat. Is that a cougar, maybe, right there? All right, well, this is the Ostara Tarot, a very unique deck, a contemporary deck for sure. It's available now. I bought it on Amazon and I will make sure and link it below. It does come in this very nice box. This would be a beautiful gift for somebody. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please take the time to click the little like button below. I would appreciate that so much. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.